How we doing, everybody, and welcome back to the Catalyst, where we break down and highlight some bullish trends, sentiment, and technical analysis in the markets. Woke up this morning to quite the dump today from Bitcoin. We are down 2.5% right now. So let's take a look at this chart here. First off, we can see that we're actually playing perfectly in this ascending wedge here. And as I mentioned previously, we had kind of capped out here on the RSI, and every time we go up, right, every time we come up there, we come back down a little bit. Every time we touch the top of the RSI, we come back down. So that's kind of a natural little progression there. Additionally, you can kind of see we're just simply following the pattern, coming up, or down, and then testing it once more and coming back down. What I expect for us to find here, as you see in other moments, right? So we see that previously, as we've hit the top of this resistance, we've tested different levels. So we've either tested this orange line, we've tested the red, we've even tested the yellow here. Ideally, what's going to happen is we're actually going to find some support up in here somewhere. So right at the 57 mark, and it seems like that's kind of where we're wicking out to right now. Even it's like in that range. We obviously could go as low as the bottom of this, so the support line here, depending on what day of the week that is or how far out. That could be up in the 50 range, or I mean, it could go lower as well. But I would seek some support at the fib levels. Additionally, this previous high of 53 that we blasted through about a week ago, or at the beginning of the month, I guess. So now we're coming up and testing the support. I think this is a healthy pullback. I wouldn't be too nervous about it, to be honest. Obviously, it's going to kind of suck for the day, and then what's going to happen is we're going to get another big blast off like this in a couple weeks or so. The important thing to note too is where our RSI is actually back down at the center. So now we have a lot more room for growth. So think about it this way. Let's see here. So last time we were at the center point, right? That is actually when we were here. So we were able to take from the center up to the first peak. We had a 30% gain. So we could easily, match that here. So we're here at the center point, 30% gain is going to put us approximately at 75K. So that could potentially be, at the first week in November or something like that. So just keep in mind, don't get too spooked by this stuff. When in doubt, zoom out, right? So you see, we're still going positive here. We're still in quite a bullish trend. And we've seen it, kind of happen in the past where we come up, test this resistance, and bounce back down. Let's take a look at ETH once again. ETH is a little interesting. We have our previous all-time high. Obviously, we have yet to break that. Bitcoin actually broke theirs first, and I was a little surprised by that. I was actually thinking that ETH was going to break it before Bitcoin was, and then Bitcoin would follow. But Bitcoin has proven it is still the dominant leading force in the crypto world. So ETH is following trend. Obviously, everything's going to crash a bit as Bitcoin does as well. One thing too that's interesting is Bitcoin dominance is actually up 2%. So obviously, all the altcoins and stuff like that are falling at a higher rate. But yeah, so ETH, again, similar thing here. Let's look to find some support at the fib levels and then kind of bounce back and hopefully break this resistance. We could even see some support here, potentially on the previous resistance, which would be great from this wedge here. And that would hopefully lead us up into some new all-time highs. And let's dive in to ADA as well. ADA is kind of a big loser in this one. Look at this red candle, boom, tanked all the way. At one point it was as low as $1.80. I think this is a good time to buy ADA. Look at this launch pad. It's been accumulating since the middle of September. So a whole month it has just been a stable coin. We know what happens when ADA kind of gets in those trends, right? We were saying, oh, ADA is a stable coin right here, right before we blasted off and went up to $3 over the course of like a week and a half or something like that. We are at the bottom of our RSI. This is a good time to go in on ADA. You can see that here. Every time we hit the bottom, obviously we go back up. So there's a few times that we've been all the way at the bottom, and every time we've kind of recovered and gone up a little bit higher. So I think it is a safe play, especially at a 10% discount. I think that's a good buy. Let's check out Chainlink. Chainlink is kind of in a similar situation here. Chainlink actually, unfortunately, was ripping a little bit, and then we just lost the last 4 days worth of gains in a single day. Right, so you see here, this guy here, this big candle, we had that, and then, you know, 2 other ones, and then we just lost all of that. So hopefully this red candle does not fully engulf all those gains there. We're still above. You can actually almost see a little bit of like a head and shoulders pattern building here, right? So if we have a shoulder, head, possible shoulder, you know, we could see some push up eventually, maybe not now. Obviously, this is kind of dependent on how the market responds to this. I think this is just some manipulation and people kind of preparing to, blast off here for Bitcoin. And then we have some other interesting news to go over as well. Photoshop is actually preparing to do NFT options, like integrated NFT building software in their Photoshop application, which is really, really awesome. So what this just does for us is simply confirm, more adoption of just the whole ecosystem of cryptocurrency. There's going to be easier ways to make NFTs now because we have easier ways to create them and more customized ways to do that as well. Whereas people had to previously find, loopholes or whatever to create their own process. Photoshop is now creating a way that it's like much simpler for us to create NFTs. This is really, really cool, and I'm really excited to see kind of the performance of this. I think the other thing that's interesting is like maybe Photoshop or maybe Adobe gets into the NFT market, and they have a marketplace where on the Adobe Creative Cloud, where you can normally upload your artwork or whatever, you'd be able to upload your NFT straight to the Adobe marketplace and then kind of go from there. That'd be kind of interesting. So that is that. And then one last thing I want to check is the SHIB price. The Shiba Inu over the month, look at this, 600% over the last 30 days. Over the last 7 days, we're up 80%. And I think since yesterday, we're up 18%. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. I think, I don't want to say to like throw some money at it, but I threw $50 at it just to see kind of what would happen. This is something that you need to be extremely cautious with, similar to Doge, right? We've seen how Doge has gone up and then immediately tanked, by 90% or, some crazy numbers. Yeah, just keep an eye on that. It's kind of interesting that, the meme coins, they're a meme until they go up 500%, and then people start making some real cake on that. I mean, we see Dogecoin over the course of the last year, right? 4,400%. So that is all I got for updates for you guys. And we will catch you next time. Weather the storm here. I don't think it'll last too long. Thanks for watching. Peace.